everybody, it's Stephen A. Smith, and everyone knows my feelings on Cowboys fans. But really, Justin Kenner, you're a Cowboys fan and a Browns fan? Good Lord have mercy. I don't know what the hell to do with y'all. I really don't.
Exactly, Stephen A. He's been here for 10 years, and we're still trying to figure him out. The Justin Kenner Show, weekdays at 3 p.m., right here on 1410 ESPN Radio. You want hot takes?
No, I'm not going to apologize to Ryan Day. Of all the elite quarterbacks in the NFL, Joe Burrow is the least accomplished.
Getting better.
1,000,000%. I 1,000,000% believe that the Dayton Flyers are afraid of the Wright State Raiders. That's why they come up with every excuse in the book not to play them.
There it is. The hottest take of them all. It's the Justin Kenner Show, presented by Frickers, live on 1410 ESPN Radio.
That's right, the Justin Kenner Show, presented by Frickers. We are up and rolling here on a Thursday. 937-518-1410, the number to call or text to jump in on the conversation. All right, the week is rolling, and he must not have a whole lot going on today because he decided to embrace us with his presence. That's right, the one, the only Mr. Kev Nash. Welcome.
What up, though?
Your mic was on this time. I got that right.
Hey.
Making more frequent visits.
Hey.
It's like, not as rusty.
It's NBA off season. That's when all the craziness happens. We got crazy trades. We got crazy trade rumors. We got free agency signings. NFL is right around the corner. My favorite sport in the world is right around the corner. College football. You had Dave Biddle on yesterday. I was listening. I wanted to call in, but I was in meetings and doing reports.
Yeah.
But today I'm here. What you want to talk about?
Well, I want to talk about a lot. I don't know how long I get you, but I do know there's a couple things, including this one. It's been the world of sports betting, by the way, and I didn't show this to you because it just popped up, by the way, but the world of sports betting is just taking the perception of it's just taking a major hit. It's being blamed for everything, right? It's being blamed for everything. But you partake.
A little bit.
But how about this? A prominent sports book is fighting back against the rise of threats and harassment directed at athletes, coaches, and officials from disgruntled bettors. Now, this was just put out on ESPN.com earlier today. Fanatics Sportsbook announced on Thursday that it will become the first U.S. bookmaker to partner with Prohibit Bad Actors, a system that uses artificial intelligence and investigative tools to detect social media abuse and identify the people behind it. Mm-hmm. The goal is to find these people, track these people down, and they will be, in essence, officially banned from attending sporting events. So I don't know. This is an interesting way. A sports book kind of getting some positive PR for a change. Like, why you're acting like a jerk, and we're going to punish you for it because you're making us look bad. How about that?
Hey, man, AI being AI. AI is not going anywhere, so people just deal with it and embrace it and embrace what they're using AI for. I think this is a good thing. Look, man, we always talked about this when I was on the show on a regular basis. Like, fans have the right to cheer and boo. They don't have the right to harass. They don't have the right to throw things. They don't have the right to be on the field of play. So it does get to a point now where your parlay doesn't hit because Kevin Durant didn't get 10 rebounds, and now Kevin Durant is the scum of the earth. No, it's your fault for betting. That's on you. You placed the bet. That's why it's called gambling. You gambled, you lost. So yeah, I'm with this, man. Some of these people do need to be dealt with in a strict fashion. And if barring them from sporting venues or barring them from using apps is what they're going to be doing with this, I'm with it.
So it's interesting. So this goes on to say that Fanatics will launch the platform during football season, this upcoming football season, and bettors who are caught harassing athletes, coaches, and officials. You can come on, don't put the officials on that list. They're
a part of the game.
Yeah, and you will be. And according to most, many people think that they are regular partakers in these apps. To be quite honest, but no, that you will be suspended or banned from using the sports book. Okay, not banned from arenas or the games themselves. Okay,
I'm with that.
I kind of like that. I mean, good for them. They don't have to do that.
Yeah,
they don't have to do that. But the fact that Fanatics Sports, have you heard of Fanatics Sports?
I have not.
And this is why we now have. They could go and do what a lot of these sports books do and dump a ton of money into local markets and have the local media influencers in town push Fanatics Sportsbook. I have not heard of it.
We're open for business, by the way.
Yes, by the way, yes, absolutely. Or they can go the good PR route. And look what we're doing now. I fell for it, but like, this is what they were wanting to accomplish. This is a positive PR story for a sports book. And we're talking about, I've never heard of Fanatic Sportsbook, but if you're just joining us late, by the way, Kev Nash hanging out with us, everybody. But a prominent sportsbook is fighting back against the rise of threats and harassment directed at athletes, coaches, and officials. And Fanatic Sportsbook did announce earlier today that they will become the first U.S. bookmaker to partner with Prohibit, like Prohibit, but B-E-T at the end, Prohibit, Bad Actors, which is a system that uses artificial intelligence and investigative tools to detect social media abuse and identify the people behind it. So if you use their sportsbook and their AI features find that you are harassing athletes, officials, coaches, and just being very volatile on social media, you'll be banned from their sportsbook. I think that's an interesting one. I wonder if you see others, like if this pressures FanDuel and others to follow suit.
Yeah, I think it will. It's very similar to what they use on PlayStation and Xbox for games like Call of Duty and things like that, when you're like just overly aggressive talking to your teammates or talking to whoever you're playing online with and things like that. Like you can get, 1 strike, 2 strikes, 3 strikes, you're out, and they ban you for a couple of days, especially on games like Call of Duty and things like that. I'm with it. I like this. I think this sets a standard for like, hey man, we talked about betting and everything with Sorsby. We talked about betting when it first got legalized in Ohio. And, I was one of the people that said like, yeah, it's cool, but like there is going to be a generation of people that grow up with betting it's just like a normal thing. And there's going to be a lot of people out there that become addicted to gambling because it's so readily available to them, back in my day, or, back when I was in my 20s and 30s and stuff like that. The only places you could legally place a bet where, go on a boat, go to Vegas, go to Atlantic City. Now, pick up this bad boy. You can do all the betting you want to do legally.
Yeah. And by the way, like it makes sense to do this. And look, these sports books have the money to do it. And the other thing about it is, like, these sports books, they have such a negative perception about them because of everything that's going on right now. Like, this is what they want to clean up the messy people. Like, you're ruining it for everybody else.
Yeah.
If you go to those high touristy attraction places, like, police presence down there, it's very low tolerance for any kind of foul play because they know where the bread is buttered. It's people want to come and feel safe when they're vacationing and partaking in these tourist attraction areas. If they feel like you're going to be going down and dealing with high crime rates and just in unsafe environments, you're not going to want to go and vacation and dine there. So there is always heavy police presence in those places. That's kind of what's going on here. They're trying to police it because they want you to go and enjoy yourself with these sports books and not always have to deal with all the messy situations. I actually think it's smart. We'll see if it changes, but there's so many sports books out there.
So many. I think probably the best thing for them to do is try to get some athletes involved with it as well. Retired athletes and things of that nature. Hey, like, build a brand with the athletes that you're quote unquote protecting.
Absolutely. Now, this isn't the only this isn't the only story I wanted to get into to open up the show before we get into the NBA. I found this story hilarious. Okay. You don't have kids, right?
I do not.
I don't have kids, but I know if you and your wife had kids and me and my wife had kids, I have a feeling that me and you would be very good dads. We would not be deadbeat dads, right?
No.
But I found this story hilarious because, child support, right? For those who owe child support, you're sitting up in your chair. I do that.
Here we go.
The stories I've heard.
Stick to sports.
The men get screwed a lot in this situation from the stories I've heard. But there are some men out there who don't do their part when they are required to pay child support. And there is a country that right now is using the World Cup to kind of punish those. I don't know if you saw the story, Kev. Argentina has provided the United States authorities with a list of over 13,000 citizens in arrears on child support. Okay, requesting that they be banned from entering stadiums or purchasing tickets for the 2026 World Cup. So if you are from Argentina and you are looking to buy tickets and you owe, you're a little behind on your child support, you're not allowed to attend this type of thing. How have you seen this story?
Yeah, I saw the story. I think it's wild. I mean, like, there has to be like a certain level of like, government involvement and government laying hands off. Like, dang, like, you're not gonna be able to go to this game because you owe money in child support. What's the threshold for that? Say you're $100 behind. You mean I can't go because I'm $100 behind? Like, dang, dude, you just got to ban me from this. Like, and then also, like, shouldn't a lot of that stuff be taken care of between, on the local level, the local court level and things of that nature? You got to take it to the highest of peaks to get these type of things handled. Look, man, deadbeat dads, thumbs down. Matter of fact, there's not only just deadbeat dads out there, there's deadbeat moms as well. So let's get it twisted. Yeah. So there's deadbeats on both sides. So if you're a deadbeat parent, shame on you, thumbs down to you. Help take care of your kids, most importantly. But secondly, like, dang, is it that bad? You owe that much money that you get banned from a sporting event. How much money do you owe? You into the M's?
I don't want to live in a world that you can't be a deadbeat dad and still attend a World Cup. In fact, I dislike soccer so much, I feel like that's punishment enough, to be quite honest with you. Hey, you owe child support, you have to go watch a soccer match. Like, I feel like that should be punishment enough. Pay your child support, men and women. But
pay up.
But there you go. I did think that was one of the most interesting ones. And I just think it's crazy that they are urging U.S. personnel. Someone's alarm's going off in the back. It's distracting me. But yeah, it's interesting that they're trying to urge.
Could that be?
Well, there's not many people here. There's only so many people. Oh, Smokey. Which one? I talked about this the other day. Like, I don't care who smokes, but it is funny. Like, you see so little people smoking cigarettes anymore that when you do see people smoke cigarettes now, it's like, oh, you smoke. I don't care. It sounds like I'm judging, but it just catches you off guard a little bit.
It definitely does. This was a while ago. This was after like they kind of like banned indoor smoking in the great state of Ohio.
Missed that.
And we went out of town. Matter of fact, we were up there in the terrible state of Michigan. And we went into a restaurant and you smelled smoke. I was like, what is that smell? Ugh. What? I was like, oh, we're not at home anymore. We're in a totally different state. They allow that in this state. Oh, how dare they?
Listen, I love the smell of cigarettes. It reminds me of going to the bowling alley when you're little. Every time I smell cigarette smoke, I crave a pizza because I'd always get a pizza at the bowling alley. So when I smell cigarette smoke, I crave pizza right away just because the bowling alleys as a kid that, all the lung cancer I was getting, secondhand smoke. Everyone's like, did you smoke when you were a kid? I'm like, no, I was poor. I had to, just deal with the secondhand. Secondhand is what I resorted to.
You got all types of smoke out here. You got your cigarettes, you got your cigars, you got your Black and Milds, you got your weed smoke.
Yeah, see.
Smoke up, everybody.
Kev don't smoke the cigars or nothing like that, so he's not a big fan when we do our live. When Keith Byers and I do our live shows during the fall, and Kev has to fill in. I mean, me and Keith, it's like a hot box when we do our shows in the fall. We're smoking both our cigars out in the patios at various sports bars, and Kev fills in, and it's like he looks like Walter White with the mask on, just trying to protect himself. Anyways, but all right, good stuff. Hey, LeBron James coming back to Cleveland. There's multiple paths for that to potentially happen. Do you want that to happen? We'll discuss that when we come back. It's the Justin Kinner Show. It's actually Kinner and Kev Show today. It's the Kinner and Kev Show here on a Thursday, 937-518-1410. Deadbeat dads and deadbeat moms, pay your child support. Just a reminder, that's how we opened up the show today. You're probably wondering what the hell was that about if you are just tuning in. But either way, we'll be right back. It's the Justin Kinner Show presented by Frickers. Frickers, your home for fun, food, sports, and spirits. More on the way.
to the Justin Kinner Show, right here on ESPN Dayton, 1410 Wing AM.
Not talking Reds, but maybe a little Reds. Reds lose again. They've lost 3 straight, get swept by the Brewers at home. 12.5 back of the division. And as far as the wild card goes, 5.5 back in the wild card. That's the furthest back that the Reds have been in the wild card in quite some time. So things going from bad to worse. Kev Nash with us here in the old studio today. And, the Reds being managed by your former guy, Terry Francona. Reds fans, I mean, I saw that I forgot the record exactly, but the Reds are 1 game under 500 with Terry Francona as manager. Baseball's always been weird to me, how much of a difference maker truly is a manager in today's baseball versus, previous decades baseball. But what was the Indians/Guardians fan base's relationship with Francona towards the end, right?
Loved him. He got kind of started getting the granddad vibes from obviously the players because they were so much younger than him, but just they were like, all right, man, this is kind of like running in place, but who are we going to blame? We're going to blame Francona. Are we going to blame the Dolan family for being cheap instead of letting people walk out the door and things of that nature? Or are we in that middle of that cycle that all right, man, we dump everything and then we rebuild it back up? Are we going to let Tito stick around and things of that nature? Obviously the health issues that he had going on. So I think they were all ready for kind of a mutual parting of ways and things of that nature. So yeah, he still was loved. And I'm sure when they played up there in Cleveland, I'm sure he got a standing ovation and everything like that. But looking at, the Reds this season, how taken back are you how they're playing baseball right now as a true fan?
Well, they were not a good hitting team towards the tail end of last year. They said they were going to make it a point of emphasis to improve the lineup. They added Eugenio Suarez. That was it. Their biggest offseason headline was that they almost got Kyle Schwarber, who has 30 home runs and 50 RBIs as we sit here a few weeks out of the All-Star break. So that's kind of hard to stomach. But I said on yesterday's show, there are people right now who are blaming Francona. They don't like the Reds fans are crapping all over Francona. And I think that that's wrong. Look, like I said, I don't know. I think bad managers can have an impact on baseball. I don't know how much effect good managers have, if that makes sense. I guess a good manager in baseball today is just not getting in the way. I don't know. I don't know how much blame should go to Terry Francona, but I don't believe as much blame that's going his way should be going his way. We all know the struggles that this front office has. We all know the limitations that the roster had, although the pitching, they dominated the Brewers with their pitching this series, but they couldn't produce runs. Last night, the Brewers put up some runs and the Reds come back and they fall a run short 6-5. But yeah, look, when the Reds had Dusty Baker, I kept saying, Reds fans thought they knew more than a Hall of Fame manager with Dusty Baker, and look how bad it got when he left. Let's not make that same mistake. I think it's an organizational problem. Francona's won everywhere he's gone.
Right.
And we're going to blame him for the Reds' struggles. I think we kind of know that this is a Reds organizational problem as far as that goes. But, yeah, I think Reds fans are bored with blaming the front office. I just think he's the one. But, yeah, when I saw the record come out, I'm like, I knew they were a 500 team with Francona, but I didn't realize that they were a game under 500 now with these recent struggles. They haven't been bad. They haven't been good, but they feel pretty bad right now. But Francona, blaming him. I mean, the Reds, come on, you're lucky. You're fortunate to have a manager like Terry Francona. I thought that was kind of interesting nonetheless.
I think a good manager makes a difference in the playoffs. When these are
playoffs,
very short series, especially in the first round. And things like that, I think they make a difference right there, going with their gut instincts and things like that. A person like Francona is kind of still allowed to do those type of things when you have that type of resume. Obviously, you still lean on the analytics and things like that, but they trust a seasoned manager to do those type of things. So I think they're more inclined to have an impact in shorter stints as opposed to a long 100+ game season that you deal with in Major League Baseball. And I'm with you, man. I couldn't sit here and say oh man, I'm the biggest baseball fan in the world. I'm tapped into everything that's going on with every team out there. I'm barely tapped into the team that I follow or what they got going on. But you look at teams and things of that nature, it's just hey man, at some point you can't always just blame, the manager or blame the coach, or for that matter, even blame the players. Sometimes the players they're just not good enough. They're just not. So the only other person or people to blame is the management. And are you actively trying to win? Are you actively just like, hey man, we're in that phase of like, all right, we're still trying to figure things out. We talked about it a ton during the NBA regular season with the tanking and things like that. Like Utah Jazz were intentionally tanking games, and that's why they had to come up with these tanking rules and things like that. Now they had a good draft. They drafted Peterson out of Kansas. You know, they got market in there. So like next year, like, all right, we're going to roll everybody out there and we're going to intentionally try to make it to the play-in. And then years later, try to make a run in the playoffs. So are these things that management are doing and not letting it be known to the fan base? Obviously not, because no team owner is going to come out there and say, hey, we're intentionally trying to lose games. Now come buy season tickets. No business person is ever going to say that. So as a outsider looking in on the Reds, what do you think they're doing in the front office? What do you think their plans are?
Well, I said this yesterday. I said, why are Reds fans upset? Because we're losing. Well, haven't the Reds always, they've done a lot of losing. So what makes it different? Well, we were supposed to be better. Oh, why were we supposed to be better? We had good players. Front office drafted, developed a lot of those good players. They needed a home run hitter. They went out and they got Eugenio Suarez, who nearly hit 50 home runs last year. He was the second best home run free agent, and the Reds grabbed him. Well, they should have done more. The Dodgers fans feel like the Dodgers should do more in the offseason. Like every fan base feels like yes, the Reds should do more, but the point is you had expectations for this team to win. Bad front offices don't bring in good players and have it. So you said can't blame the players. I'm at the point where I'm blaming the players.
Okay.
Matt McClain is supposed to be good, and he is not. Tyler Stevenson is supposed to be consistent and good, and he is not. Suarez was brought in to be that near 50 home run hitter that he was a year ago, and he strikes out pretty much every at bat. Like to me, Ellie's hurt, Hunter Green's always hurt, Nick Lodolo's hurt again. At some point, and I'm not saying like, oh my God, it's your fault that you're hurt, but at a certain point, it's like, I get it. It's not your fault that a 106-mile-per-hour line drive went off your wrist, but dude, it's always something, Nick Lodolo. Like it is. I don't want to make too light of it, but like he got a little blister on his throwing finger. Now, if you get a blister, you think a few weeks off, he'd be fine. He missed almost an entire season because of a blister on his throwing finger. And I'm like, it's just always something. Like, I'm not mad at you for having a blister, but like every year there is just something. So yeah, I'm fed up. I'm like, this isn't a Francona thing. The front office could always do more, but sometimes you just got to look at the players and be like, Ellie, you're MVP caliber player. You can't put runs up on the board. You can't, I'm sorry. I'm at the point now where some blame has to go to the players. This is us not talking Reds, by the way.
And normally that's me. I'm normally the guy that says, hey man, like blame the players. Like they're the ones that's actually out there on the field of play, making the decisions and things like that. Like, when a quarterback throws an interception and everybody's panning the camera to the head coach, like, well, he didn't make that read. He didn't decide to throw into double coverage. He had a check down wide open, but he decided to take a risky throw and say, oh, got picked. And not only a pick, it's a pick six. It's picked the other way. Man, we got to get a new coach. Why did you call that play? Well, there's options on passing plays. It isn't always throw the ball to Jamar Chase no matter what. Sometimes, hey, man, we draw up a play for Jamar to run a deep route to clear things out underneath for the tight end and things like that. So, there's a ton of blame to go around when teams lose. It always isn't 100% on the players or the coaches or the front office. It's a blame pie, and the blame pie sometimes is a bigger share for the players. Sometimes it's a smaller share.
Yeah, I always say you can go get the world's greatest chef, but if you give him crappy ingredients, he might be able to do more with those crappy ingredients than a regular chef, but the meal's still probably not going to taste as good as if you had better ingredients. Terry Francona doing the best he can with the struggling ingredients that he has, but the meal's not as good as what it was tasting when he was in Cleveland or definitely Boston. So yeah, I mean, he needs better ingredients to cook with, and I'm not saying he's been perfect. I mean, there's been some lineup decisions, but name a manager that has never had his lineups questioned. I mean, come on, it is what it. But all I say, Reds fans, is cool it. Last time you thought you knew more than a Hall of Fame manager, you chased Dusty Baker out, and guess what? That dude won everywhere, including in Cincinnati, and you still didn't want him out. That dude won everywhere, including a World Series a few stops after. Be careful what you wish for. Now, I do think it's the last year of Francona. I don't think there's going to be a season next year.
Right.
This was always a shock that he came out of retirement to manage again anyways, especially not just come out of retirement, but to pick Cincinnati, but he loved the youth. Mm-hmm. He loved the talent that they had, and now that same talent is kind of screwing him over. So we'll see. I don't know what's going to happen with the future of the Reds when it comes to the manager, but I think we should be appreciative. I think we're entering the final months of Terry Francona as a manager in baseball. So I'm looking at it that way. Yes, I want to see them send him out as a playoff manager, this, that, and the other. But I really hope Reds fans don't do their little crybaby temper tantrum stuff where they, I don't want him to go out with Reds fans just burying him the rest of the way. One of my guys, Nick Kirby, I like Nick Kirby. He does the Chatterbox Red stuff, but he called him a clown the other day because he goes, I'm tired of this clown managing my baseball team. And I'm like, Nick Kirby knows a lot more about baseball than me. I'll never sit there and pretend to know more than him. But when advanced analytics make you think that Terry Francona is a clown, that's when you're no longer using advanced analytics. And I'm sorry, like that's what makes advanced analytics look bad. That if advanced analytics is telling you that Terry Francona is a clown, I'm sorry, I can't take you serious anymore. And I like him. I like Kirby. Him and I have always deferred on baseball opinions. But I'm sorry, you're calling him a clown. I can't get on board with that. I'm very salty. Ever since I heard that clip the other day, I'm like, you got to be kidding me. You could be upset with his lineups, but to call him a clown when getting clown performances from these players, that's rich.
Walking straight to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
You talk about
the clown of fame.
You talk about like being a chef and letting me cook and things like that. There's a reason why, Phil Jackson won so many championships. Yes, he's a great head coach, but he had this dude named, Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen. And then he had another dude named Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal. Like there's a reason.
Pow!
Yeah. That Paul Gasol. Yeah, for sure.
Who was on crack.
There's a reason why when he took over at the Knicks, he didn't come back and coach because he had Carmelo Anthony, very great player, and Amari Stoudemire, very good player as well. But they ain't Shaq and Kobe. Like nobody would ever say like, oh man, Carmelo's on the same level as a Kobe Bryant. Nobody would ever say Amari Stoudemire is on the same level as Shaquille O'Neal. Like it's just facts. So yeah, you have to have great talent in order to win. And, we're going to have the same conversation once the college football season rolls around and, the talented teams that are Ohio State, and Georgia, and Texas and things like that. And they're going to be in a close matchup or they're going to blow another team out that has equal talent and people are going to be losing their mind. Talent wins out. Talent is the great equalizer. And it's really up to the coaches to manage that talent and keep those talented players on the same page and be willing to sacrifice because sports is truly all about sacrifice. I mean, you think about offensive linemen and defensive linemen, like they don't score touchdowns, man. Like when a touchdown happens, who gets to spike the ball? The running back or the wide receiver or the tight end? Who gets the glory for it? The quarterback gets all the glory. But guess what? It does not happen without the big boys up front.
5-yard screen pass. The receiver takes it into the end zone. Everyone,
yeah.
Like the receiver did that with the blocking too.
Yeah. So like it's a big sacrifice that goes on with sports, and it's truly up to the coach to have those dudes buy in because selfishness does divide a locker room. Money does divide a locker room, and when you don't have talent on the team, you're still dealing with dudes that's making money, and you're gonna deal with guys that are making money that say, "Man, I can make an impact better than that guy that's playing right now. You should be playing me." And you have to deal with all that. So yeah, man, these coaches are in a tough spot, especially when you have a passionate fan base like the Reds.
Yeah. And Reds fans getting impatient. And like I said, this was Kenner and Kev not talking Reds. But nonetheless, by the way, you brought up Amari Stoudemire.
Amari
Stoudemire, Paul Gasol in their prime. Who you taking? Take injuries off the table.
Amari Stoudemire.
Yeah, I agree.
Phoenix, Amari Stoudemire, next level.
I love those Suns teams.
Next level.
By the way, I saw a clip the other day. Shaq said if he doesn't, like that year he was with the Cavs. I don't remember Shaq being that good with the Cavs. Was he?
He was okay. He was
I just saw a bunch of highlights. Well, you're thinking of that. I just saw a bunch of clips. Like he shared it was like a 5-minute clip of all the highlights of him in Cleveland. And I'm like, I don't remember any of that. I just remember old Shaq. But the plays he made, there was some throwback retro looking Shaq plays that he made in Cleveland.
Now,
him and LeBron played well off one another too.
You talking about Celtic Shaq now? Yikes!
Yeah,
but I mean, I think there's obviously the ascension of Shaquille O'Neal in Orlando, the athletic Shaquille O'Neal, the dude that could grab it off the rim and dribble it up the court, cross people over, and go dunk the ball. That Shaquille O'Neal would have been a modern big in today's basketball. Then you got the Diesel, that is Lakers.
Yep.
And then you got still got Diesel, with the Heat, but obviously there was a like, oh yeah, he's not what he used to be. And you got basically that same type of player when he was that short stint with the Suns. And then you get a step below, maybe even 2 steps below when he was with the Cavs. And hard to determine why that was. I mean, I know he had the 2 injured toes. And when you're a guy that size, you can't do any cardio. Your cardio is the actual game. You can't be as nimble. And I mean, the biggest thing about Shaquille O'Neal, to be that size and that athletic still, and to be able to get up off the ground and the double jumps and the play defense and get rebounds, he was unable to do a lot of that stuff for long stretches of time with the Cavs. And when he was with the Celtics, he could do none of those things at all.
Yeah, he was talking about how he was saving himself throughout the regular season so that he can go full go come playoff time. He swears they win a title that year if he's healthy in the playoffs. He swear, but he said he was saving himself all season for the postseason and then got hurt before the postseason, never healed. But I was like, no, there's no way. Then I saw those highlights. Now I know they're highlights, we're pulling the good plays, but like he just made some plays in Cleveland I just don't remember. And that's where my ADD got into play because you mentioned him in Phoenix. And I'm like, oh, yeah. But anyway, let's talk about Cleveland for real this time. I do want to talk about the NBA. Look, I really didn't start to buy into LeBron returning to Cleveland that much because I just thought there's no way he's not going to go back to the Lakers. But the Lakers, with the move that they made yesterday with Reeves, it kind of signals that LeBron
ain't got no money.
He's not going back to the Lakers. So there's options. There's all the rumors about going to Golden State and being paired up with Steph Curry and Draymond Green and even Jimmy Butler, who people forget is there. But right now, everyone's keeping an eye on what is happening in Cleveland because there's some options for them as well. One option does involve LeBron, and another option involves another star player in the NBA. What will Cleveland do? Can we see a reunion in Cleveland for the 3rd time with LeBron James? We'll discuss that for real when we come back. Justin Kinner, Kev Nash, 1410 ESPN Radio. It's the Justin Kinner Show presented by Frickers here on a Thursday.
Now, back to the Justin Kinner Show, right here on ESPN Dayton, 1410 Wing AM.
All right, everybody, we are back. It's the Justin Kinner Show presented by Frickers. Frickers, your home for fun, food, sports, and spirits. Kev Nash with us here on a Thursday. Mr. Kev Nash, welcome.
What up, though?
Darius Rucker going to be Darius Rucker's Songs of Summer tour. He's going to be making a stop in Cincinnati tomorrow night at Riverbend, and they just sent us an extra batch of tickets. So if you're interested in a chance to win to see Darius Rucker in Cincinnati tomorrow night at Riverbend, text tickets 937-518-1410. Text tickets to 937-518-1410 for your chance to check out Darius Rucker in Cincinnati tomorrow night at Riverbend. All right, we welcome you back. I touched on this lightly yesterday that there were a couple rumors really starting to kind of swirl about the future of LeBron James. And, obviously everyone's keeping an eye on the Cleveland Cavaliers as potentially being a landing spot. Look, when the season ended, Brian Windhorst had come out and said he's not saying that this is definitely going to happen, but the Cavs had the pieces and they were in a position that they technically, there is a world where the Cavs could have tipped off the 2026-27 NBA season with LeBron, with Giannis Antetokounmpo, with Donovan Mitchell, and James Harden all on the same roster. Obviously, with Giannis being traded to Miami, that was the first big domino to fall. Once that card was off the table, that was a big domino for Cleveland because a lot of people looked at Cleveland and said, because of Evan Mobley. Evan Mobley is a huge wild card for Cleveland because I think he's a landmine. I think he can either blow up your future in regards to you trade him to go get something now and it doesn't work and he blows up into a star somewhere else, or you keep him thinking he's going to be a star and doesn't, and you missed out on many opportunities to bring someone of bigger value over. And it's tough because you look around the NBA right now, it was such there's a stretch where it was all about the bigs, then it was all about the point guards. Now it was about, the stretch fives and the ability to shoot, but the game is starting to go back inside a bit. It's not work the ball inside, but you need a good amount of bodies with size down low. The Knicks just won a championship because of that. They built their roster to be able to go at potentially the Spurs, who they just beat in the finals, to go against Wemby. The game's slowly transitioning back inside, still with the heavy emphasis on the three, of course. But that's what makes Evan Mobley so interesting. Kev, there were certain reports that came out yesterday that the Boston Celtics looking to move on from Jaylen Brown, and that they would be very, very much so interested in Evan Mobley. They need a big down there. Then I think Evan Mobley, if he turns into what they expect with the Jason Tatum, I love that tandem. I think that's huge. Jaylen Brown in Cleveland, they need a dominant guard that can play some defense. And I actually think he complements Donovan Mitchell well. I kind of like that.
Bigger guard.
Yeah, I like that pairing. So I like that move. The other one, though, involves LeBron potentially returning to Cleveland. And that's not the only way LeBron could return to Cleveland, but there's a potential trade opportunity here where the Los Angeles Lakers desperately want a big, and according to Brian Windhorst, that they would do anything in their power to get their hands on Jared Allen, including sending LeBron to Cleveland not straight up, but for Jared Allen being the two centerpieces with some picks around it. I kind of like that too. Would LeBron to Cleveland's one thing, but LeBron to Cleveland for Jared Allen with those potential trade things being thrown out there, Kev, where are you at with Cleveland's future? They can't bring the same roster back. They've tried it. Not saying they can't, but it doesn't sound like they will. It sounds like they're about to blow something up, and not to blow it up and start over, but to go big in a different direction.
Yeah, I would do either of those moves, to be perfectly honest. You have to try something. Look, I love Jared Allen. I really like Evan Mobley, but especially from the Lakers' perspective, like, regardless if they bring LeBron James back with Luka and Reeves, they play zero defense. They have the ability to guard nobody. We can go out there and get buckets on them. Now, granted, they're going to bust our butts on the other end, but they can't guard a shadow. So you go get a rim protector, you get a rim runner, you basically reconstruct what they had in Dallas when they built everything around Luka. They got a whole bunch of like Blake Lively. You got like all these type of long athletic dudes to cover up for Luka's deficiencies on the defensive end with basically rim runners and defensive players, and let him do his thing offensively, throw them lobs and things of that nature. So it works for the Lakers' perspective. On the short term, obviously it works for the Cavs, and I say short term because LeBron is like 100 years old. But shoot, at the end of the day, who cares how old he is if he's able to help them deliver another championship? Like, hey man, we'll go ahead and give you Jared Allen if we can go ahead and get another championship. So what? Like, that's the point, right? And then on the flip side, I feel the exact same way about Evan Mobley. Evan Mobley is like a carrot, and carrots are great. And you're chasing that carrot. You're chasing the carrot of Evan Mobley turning it into Kevin Garnett. At the end of the day, he's not going to be Kevin Garnett. He's not that intense of a player to affect both sides of the basketball court like that. He has peaks and valleys. And he's a very, very, very good basketball player. I don't get it twisted. I'm not trying to say he's a scrub, he's a bum or anything like that, but he does not bring that intensity on a night in and night out basis. Some people may call him soft and things like that. I wouldn't call him soft. I would just say, like, hey man, he's a skinny guy. And when you go up against brick walls, there's certain things that you're not going to be able to do. Like the Kevin Garnett's of the world are totally different. I don't think Evan Mobley has the mental mindset of a Kevin Garnett for him to turn into that type of player. So I would do Evan Mobley for a Jaylen Brown. Now, we talked about this before we jumped on. I think the biggest hang up and the biggest issue with the Cleveland Cavaliers is the James Harden of it all. James Harden is going to be on the roster next year. If I was able to not bring James Harden back and bring in a LeBron and bring in a Jaylen Brown, that would be awesome. I would do it.
Because that was my follow-up question.
Yes, absolutely.
Why is it one or the other? I think that's a better.
Yeah, I would do both if I could get James Harden off the roster. James Harden is not a basketball player that can play off the ball. He's not a catch and shoot player. He's not a guy, especially at this age, that's going to be cutting to the basket. Obviously, we saw him in the playoffs that 1, 2, 3, 4 step back jump shot does not fall like that anymore because he's older. He's like 38 years old. Those plays aren't going to work for him anymore. So I got to get him off the roster. And I know how everything ended with him in Philadelphia. He called, their GM a snake, and that GM is now fired. And shouts out to Jameer Nelson. He's now in charge of basketball operations for the Philadelphia 76ers. If I'm the Cleveland Cavaliers, everybody talks about how cold, the NBA and sports business happens. We talk about it more in the NFL because it's a very cutthroat league. NBA is cutthroat as well. I would back out on that. I'd be like, look, man, we can get LeBron and Jaylen Brown if we don't have you on the roster. Deuces.
Bigs are important.
For sure.
Giving up your two bigs.
For sure.
Who's playing down low?
What you doing October through April?
I'm 5'5", 5'7", depending on who I'm trying to impress,
Hey, but players like Mitchell Robinson are available.
Yep.
The Knicks, Dolan already said he's not going into the luxury tax. He's already said that. And, Jalen Brunson's already taken 2 haircuts to be a part of the Knicks organization. I'm not sure it's time to get paid. So you still have players like that out there available. I mean, there's a lot of other guys out there you can go ahead and grab. Yes, bigs are super important, but I would much rather have a Donovan Mitchell, Jaylen Brown, LeBron team than have what the Cavs currently have.
Is Kevin Love a center that you feel you can go to war with?
Not as a starter, as a bench piece for sure.
He's available. DeAndre Ayton would be available, who LeBron played with in LA. I know. I'm looking at some of these.
I'm good on that.
Brooke Lopez,
young stone hands. Man, Brooke Lopez, man, like.
Interesting.
I like him, but like he's not the Brooke Lopez that he was when he was with the Nets. He's a stretch 5 now. He does not play in the paint like at all. He doesn't guard well in the paint anymore either.
Do you think OKC keeps Isaiah Hartenstein?
Oh yeah, because
Even with the big they just got out of
yes,
Michigan?
yes. But I mean, shoot, if he's available, I would love to have him. Like, you got to have a rough
yeah.
and tumble type of dude, and especially he was the only player that was willing to be physical with Wemby on their roster. I mean, you saw what Wemby was doing to Chet. And he took his soul in Game 7 with that 2-hand dunk on him, and Chet was not the same.
Man, I'm looking at these centers. Oofa.
Yeah, man.
LeBron's flexible. He could play the 4, but you don't have a 5.
You're not about to. You're not about to let LeBron guard Karl Anthony Towns on a regular basis.
If you could only make one of those moves, if you could only make one move, sending obviously Mobley to Boston to get Brown, or sending Jared Allen to LA to get LeBron. I know this sounds crazy, but the move that I think makes the most sense to try to win now is to send Jared Allen to LA to get LeBron. You keep Mobley, and you still have Harden, and you still have, Donovan Mitchell. But I think the one that helps you compete now and the future is going to get Jaylen Brown.
Oh gosh, I would say
I want both, but assuming you could only do one of the other.
Yeah. Because I mean, obviously with LeBron and Evan Mobley's ability to knock down perimeter shots, when LeBron is on ball, you have that ability to kick and shoot to him for open shots. So that sounds so enticing. But I mean, people obviously get enticed with LeBron and LeBron factor, and you should. He's still a great player. But I think I would go with Jaylen Brown just based off of the youth. I mean, LeBron is defying all types of age things. Yeah. And at some point, it's all going to come crashing down. We've seen it happen. Yeah. It happens to everybody. And it's going to happen. And it will just be Cleveland's luck that it happens when he goes back to Cleveland. So I would go with the younger guy. And I mean, people talk about, Jaylen Brown and his stream and his Twitch stream and how they lost a 3-1 lead in the playoffs and yada, yada, yada. Dude averaged 29 points last year. 29, 6 and 6 last year. And that he would make up for deficiencies that Donovan Mitchell has on the defensive end as well, because he's a great defensive player. And that's something LeBron is not. That's something that Donovan Mitchell is not. That's something James Harden has never been. So you will be giving up your best defensive player in Jared Allen and basically taking a step back big time on the defensive end. So I would go with JB.
And yeah, because the drama part of LeBron and Brown playing together, because that does technically exist. Remember, there's a clip of Summer League a few years ago, and they zoomed, and this is where LeBron is annoying to me. Great dad, don't get me wrong, but the pettiness of this stuff, because that coincided right with the Team USA stuff. Jaylen Brown being left off the roster, and everyone felt like LeBron made that happen because he said that he wasn't the NBA. Yeah, what was I don't think
Bronny's ready for the NBA.
Yeah, which I don't even think that's a crazy thing to say. But hey, I don't have kids, so everyone gets real protective of their kids. I get it. But no, yeah. I mean, look, LeBron. I saw Stephen A. Smith talking about it this morning. If it's about just maintaining and being in good position for business opportunities after the NBA, then probably Golden State where he positions himself to go. But if it's about winning, Cleveland gives him the best opportunity to go and win. And by the way, LeBron doesn't need a trade. Doesn't have to happen for him to end up in Cleveland.
Yeah,
right?
He's an unrestricted free agent.
This one's easy for me. I just realized that. Not realized that. I just kind of clicked though. If I'm Cleveland, absolutely not. You do not give up one damn thing to get LeBron. Now that you have a chance to get Jaylen Brown, like Jared Allen keeping him. So if I'm Cleveland, I do give up Mobley to go get Brown, bring him in, and take your chances in the free agent market with LeBron. And if you don't, you still have Jared Allen, you have Brown, you have Donovan Mitchell, and obviously probably James Harden. You still have a need for depth when it comes to bigs, but I'm not.
The Lakers are banking on LeBron wanting money. That's why they want to do the sign and trade. That's we'll sign you to a contract and trade you. That's what they're banking on. And then the flip side, the Cavs are banking on hey, man, we got a great team over here, man. We just need you again. You want to play or not?
Cleveland holds the cards here for the first time in this LeBron NBA era because they have two things for him. The chance for him to come and win and maybe sneak another title in. The second thing is that's the only spot you can go and you're going to get the beloved tour. And I'm not even saying this is the final year of LeBron. He can get the next 2 years of just a beloved tour in the NBA. There's no other team that he's going to get that beloved feel. Like him and Golden State will just be weird. I'm sorry. It'll be weird. It'll be like when Kareem and those guys down the stretch, just nothing felt right. Shaquille O'Neal. I don't want to see LeBron do the Shaquille O'Neal thing where he was just he was doing didn't he do the rainbow thing where he had every color of almost every jersey that he wore between Phoenix and Boston and everything else.
Yeah.
So I don't want to see LeBron really play anywhere else. I don't really want to see him play anywhere. Like to me, I just think Cleveland has too much to offer. Cleveland's good without him. He makes them better, but he only makes them better if he comes to what they already have. Sacrificing anything to get him doesn't make any sense to me. I actually had changed my mind on all this. I wouldn't give up Jared Allen for him. I wouldn't because he could be a free agent. Cleveland, for the first time, you could look at him and say, we have more to offer you than we have ever been able to offer you in the past. And if you don't come to us, we could still be us. Just Cleveland has always sacrificed everything for LeBron James.
Mm-hmm.
Don't sacrifice anything anymore. Stop sacrificing. He needs you more than you need him.
You're going to need Jared Allen.
Yeah.
You're going to need Jared Allen if you bring in a LeBron James because he's not the defensive player he used to be. And who would blame him? He's 42 years old. So, yeah, I'm with you 100%. But I just for me, it's the James Harden thing, man. Like it will not work because he cannot do anything without the basketball. And I'm not giving him the basketball over any of those dudes. I'm not giving him the basketball to say, hey, LeBron, nah, we're going to give it to James. Hey, Donovan, nah, we're going to give it to James. JB, nah, James. I'm not going to get
a James guy.
No, not this version. Houston Rockets, when he was out there cooking with the beard and the fro hawk, yeah, when he was out here dropping 45 points a night, yeah, it's all good. Yeah, you can have 8 turnovers if you're giving me 48 points a night. But now you can't have 8 turnovers and you shooting 4 for 40. Like, that's not going to cut it. And you a defensive liability. That's why you're still going to need him on Jared Allen being him on the team. So they got to figure out a way to get off this James Harden thing, man. You get be the bad guy. Be the bad franchise. Be the team that, like, man, nobody wants to go to the Cavs for what they did to James Harden. Well, we got LeBron and we got JB. Do it, man.
So Kevin I, not a fan of James. Are you a fan of James? 937-518-1410 text into the show. There you go. But nonetheless, by the way, really cool last night in the first round, in the first pick of the second round, Bruce Thornton.
Yes, sir.
Guarded by the Knicks. Now, was he traded to Houston or is he still with the Knicks? Or was that pick traded, part of the trade with Houston? I'm confused on this because it says I knew he was called by the Knicks. He was drafted to the Knicks, but in the notes, it says traded to Houston. But sometimes that means that the pick was traded from Houston to New York.
I'm not sure.
So I think he's with New York. I should have looked that up before going live today. My apologies, but nonetheless. The Knicks swapped this pick and the number 55 to Houston for number 39, number 53, and a future second rounder. The Rockets were targeting Thornton, whose efficient offensive profile appealed to them as a potential backup option. So there you go. So it looks like he's with Houston, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. The NBA, the way they set this up confused me. This happened a few years ago with Kostas Antetokounmpo, where he was drafted, but then everyone was confused. All the news headlines said he got drafted by so-and-so, but he technically got traded later,
right.
And it was just a confusing thing to follow around. It wasn't just Kostas Antetokounmpo. It was Kamara, Tumani Kamara. No, Kobe Bryant. It was Kobe Bryant. Bryant originally got drafted to Golden State. That's where I would have loved to see Kobe Bryant in Golden State playing alongside like Steph Curry and them. He would have feasted.
Yeah.
Because,
rim runs.
Yeah. So either way. All right, good stuff. Justin Kinner, Kev Nash with you here on a Thursday. We appreciate our sponsor, Frickers. Frickers, your home for fun, food, sports, and spirits. And listening to the Justin Kinner Show, 1410 ESPN Radio.